Well, welcome everyone. We are going to do a Navigating Through Navision 2013 training today, and basically it's just an overview of some of the visual and personalization as well as productivity changes that you'll see in the NAV 2013 client. Obviously, I'm hoping that you can see my screen right now and you can tell that there's a little bit of a difference to the interface. They've made a visual update to make it look more like Office 2010, and the action pane has been redesigned, and it's now referred to as the ribbon. So that you saw in 2009, we now have a ribbon in 2013. It's similar to the ribbon in Microsoft Office 2010. And the redesign optimizes the use of the actions and the commands by providing easier access to them. If you look at the ribbon up here, you'll see that you've got an Actions tab and a Report tab, and there's different information that you can have available on those two tabs. And you can customize these just like you can customize your action pane. There's a lot of different customizations that you can do. You can also collapse the ribbon. If you right-click on the ribbon itself, you'll see that there's an option to collapse the ribbon. And when you click on that, the ribbon disappears entirely. So if for some reason you don't want to have the ribbon cluttering up your screen, you can collapse it. And you can always bring it back by right-clicking up in the same area and choosing Expand Ribbon. So that brings the ribbon back to the forefront, and on the ribbon, as I mentioned before, you can customize it so it is more personalized for you. Whereas somebody else can customize this ribbon and have it more personalized for them. The areas that you can customize, as I mentioned, are the Actions tab and the Report tab, and then on each of those you have different areas such as New Document in this case, and General, and Setup and Page, where you can make changes. So again, if you right-click on the ribbon, you'll see the option to Customize Ribbon. And when you click on the Customize ribbon, it brings up a screen that you might be familiar with if you've customized the action pane in 2009. And you'll see available actions on the left-hand side, and then the actions that you're currently showing on the right-hand side. And you'll notice that they're broken up into two sections in this particular case based on the tabs that we have at the top of our ribbon. And one of our tabs is Actions, and one of our tabs is Report. And basically, what we see here, if we were to expand the New Document section, would be the three things we have showing over here. And if we expand the General section, then we will see all of the items that we have currently showing up here. So you can change the order of these by clicking on one of them and then move up or move down. You can also rename it. You can remove it entirely if it's something that you don't want to show on your ribbon. You can also change the icon size. So typically all of the icons are going to come out at a default icon size, but you can click on this down arrow and you can choose to display it as a small icon or a large icon. If it's something that you use often and you want to make it bigger, then you can show it as a large icon. Or, if you don't use it very often, you can make it a small icon. Or if you're not using it at all, you can always remove it. So you can choose whatever it is from this list up here, and then you can choose Remove. And if you ever, messed around with it too much and you've gotten it to a place where you're not sure what you had there in the first place, you can always restore the defaults, just like with the action pane in the 2009 version. So based on the page that you're on, the available actions in the ribbon are going to be slightly different. So what you see over here on the left-hand side to add from may be different than what you see on this particular page, but the idea is the same, and you will be able to make any changes to that ribbon based on how you use that particular page. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click OK. And this will take me out of there. You'll notice that I removed one of the options from the general area, and that section has gotten smaller because I removed that particular item from the list. Again, you can add to it, you can remove, you can change the size, you can do all kinds of things. So just check, whichever tab you want to make the changes on, and then right-click and choose Customize Ribbon. And it doesn't matter which tab you're on because you're going to have access to both of them once you're in here. But if you want to see the one that you're modifying before you go to customize that ribbon for that particular tab, you can go to that tab first and then go to Customize Ribbon. So obviously you can do a lot of personalization with the customizing of your ribbon, which makes it, you know, more friendly for yourself as well as for other users who customize it for their own use. Some of the customer productivity, or actually, let's just go ahead and one thing I was going to show you here that I haven't shown yet is you'll notice that there's this little blue down arrow here to the left of the tabs. And if you click on this, it's going to give you some options that are similar to the options that you saw from the Actions option in Series 2009 or NAV 2009. And if you go here to customize, you can see that you can customize the ribbon, you can customize this page, you can customize your navigation pane, and you can reset your user-specified settings. So if you need to reset everything back to how it was, you can choose this option. We'll get to some of these other things here in the drop-down moving forward, but you can just see that this is where you would go to access some of your things that used to be available from the Actions menu in Series 2009. Some of the customer productivity improvements that were made as part of 2013 is that it's intended to you to work smarter and more effectively and to improve collaboration. So many of the improvements include familiar functionality that you find in other Microsoft products, such as the select all, the paste functions, the copy, all that kind of stuff. So we'll go ahead and show how some of these have been made more user-friendly, and I think you'll find that it's pretty cool stuff. So let's go ahead and go to our agencies list. And the nice thing is that even though the look and feel is more like Microsoft Office, you still, I mean, it's still very recognizable to what you're familiar with the current 2009 version. And if you're not yet on 2009, I don't know if anybody on here isn't on 2009 yet, you'll find that there's a lot of stuff that's familiar to, as well as Outlook, just some of the features that you had in previous versions that kind of went away with 2009 are back in 2013, so that's pretty great. One of them is the option to select all in a list. So if you click in the upper left-hand corner above the first row and to the left of the first column, it will highlight the entire list. You can right-click and choose Copy Rows, and it will copy all of the rows that are highlighted. And then you can open up Excel if you wish to put it into Excel. And let me just get that open here. And then you can just right-click or use the paste option up here. And it will drop that information directly into Excel. And then, of course, you can format it however you want. This is a great tool if you need to get the data out of Ceres and put it into Excel for, you know, summing up columns, you know, manipulating the data however you want it. And it makes it really easy to just be able to click the entire list. And if you filtered the list, you can still do the same thing once it's filtered, however you want it filtered. Then you can go ahead and click in this upper corner and, oops, now I can't seem to, there we go. Click there. Apparently clicking again does not uncheck it, but clicking on any of the lines will de-highlight the lines in the list. So again, this was something that was missing in 2009, and that feature is available again in 2013, and it makes it really nice for getting that data into other formats. Another thing, as I just showed you, of course, I did it with using the right-click copy and then paste on the other one, but you can use your typical Excel Control-C and Control-V or you know, other shortcuts that you use for copy and paste to get that data into Excel. One other thing that they've added is the ability to take data from a journal, copy it into and paste it into Excel, and then you can manipulate it, and as long as it's in the same format, it can be transferred back into Ceres. Now, there is some caveat in my testing that I found. Let's go ahead and go to a journal. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and go to a general journal. And we'll bring up a general journal here. And you'll notice that I have 4 lines in this general journal. The lines are identified by the line number. I can click in the upper left-hand corner and copy the data, and I can paste it into Excel. And I can change, like, let's say I wanted to reuse the data from one journal in another journal, and I just wanted to change some information. So maybe I change it to 250, 120, and 50, and 75, and maybe I change the GL account number. I'm not going to, but let's just say I did. Now, before I can put this back into another journal, I have to remove the line number because the system is expecting to copy the cell data, and because the line numbers are the same, it will give me an error message if I try to import it or copy it back in just like it is. But if I remove the line number and then I copy it, oops, sorry, just do it like that. And we'll go back over to the database and we'll open up a different journal. Let's just create a new journal because I think I played with a different one. And then click in here and paste. Oops, I did that wrong. Okay, this worked yesterday.
I think you included the columns, Connie, and I think yesterday we only did the data.
Oh, got you. So we only did this part right here. Oh, wait, no, that's not.
We did lines 2 through 5, I think.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Well, we'll see if I'm right.
No, I think you are correct, William. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll open this back up and we'll right-click and choose Paste Rows. And now the rows are in there. And if I had tried to paste the rows with the line numbers in there, I would have got that same error message that we saw briefly about it trying to put it all into one line. Or actually, I think it gives one about the paste action exceeds the maximum number of lines or something like that. So if you are going to use the feature of copying from an existing journal, pasting into Excel, and then bringing it back into a different journal or even the same journal, just make sure that you remove the line numbers and only copy the line information and not the header information. So obviously if I copied this information up here, it kind of argued with me, but as long as I only copied the journal, then it works just fine. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that. And then another thing that is really nifty is that let's say we're looking at a list. Well, actually, we were just on the agencies list there. But you can now sort a column just simply by clicking on it. And like in this case, if I wanted to reverse the sort for the agency number, I can click on the little pin or whatever you want to call it there, and it will automatically reverse the sort. And I can do the same with the name column by clicking on it and then clicking on it to reverse the sort. And you can do this on any column that has the ability to sort in that manner. Even permit web orders because it's a yes or no value. So right now it shows me all the no values first and then all the yes values. So it's really quite user-friendly in that way, having to try and put it into Excel and then sort it however you wanted it to. Before you move it to Excel, you can sort it ahead of time, and you can also set the filters and then either send it to Excel, or there's something else I'm going to show you in just a little bit that is also really cool. But it's a great tool for sorting however you want to get the data based on what you currently have showing in the screen. Obviously, if I want to limit what I'm showing on the screen, I still have to use filters. And I have my regular filter, which is up here in the same spot as it was previously. And then when you're showing advanced filter, obviously if I take advanced filter off, you don't see that other options there. But once I show advanced filter, I can set a filter. Let's say I want to add a filter where balance is greater than 0. And hopefully my key will, okay, worked. I didn't see it change because, you know, obviously I wasn't paying attention. But the balance field, so if I reverse it, so now it's only showing me those agencies that have a balance, and if I want it with the lowest balance to the highest, I can display it that way, or I can do highest to lowest. And then let's say I want to send this a link to somebody else in the organization. Have them go to this particular page in Ceres. I can actually just send them a link directly by clicking on the blue bar, clicking on page, and then clicking on copy link to page. This copies a link to the specific page with my filters as they are set and the way my sort is set. Then if the user opens up OneNote, and I think they can also do this in other areas, but I've tested it in OneNote, and we're going to just call this agencies with balance. And I'm going to paste that link in here. Oops, sorry, I was in the wrong spot. So I've pasted the link in here, and let's go ahead and just close that link so that we're not showing that page anymore. And then you can give the person OneNote, and they can click on the link, and you may get a message like this saying that it may be unsafe because it's a hyperlink, and it opens up the link that you sent them. And it has the same filters of balance is greater than 0, although it did, and I hadn't tested this before, so I didn't know whether it would change the sort, but it did change the sort to the default sort for this particular list, but they can still click on the field even though they're in a view, they're not actually in Ceres, and they can still sort it. Even though it didn't retain the sort that I had set ahead of time, it actually transmitted that information based on the default sort for the page, but it did remember my filter of balance is greater than 0. And once they are in the view, they can sort it however they want. So this is a really powerful tool for sharing information across the organization and even to people who are outside of the organization. As long as they have these same tools, then they can access the data without actually being in the database. So again, that is using the copy page. Actually, I better go back to my screen because I don't have copy page from the department heading. So back in my list here, and then page, copy link to page. You can also go to the print and send. If you wanted to email it as an attachment to another user, you could select that option. You can also send it to Microsoft Word if you desire. You can send it to Microsoft Excel, and you can print the page. So where before you couldn't print from a list, you can print now. I'm not sure if there's anything on this remote desktop that I'm accessing for me to print to or to print to PDF, but if I wanted to, I could print to my printer here at home or a PDF writer, and I'm not sure where it's going to store that, so I won't choose print right now, but you can print the list from this page and then either, store that somewhere locally or send it to someone at a later time if you don't want to send it as an attachment at the time you are looking at the view. So that's a great tool again there that has been added as part of the NAV 2013 interface. Excuse me, had to take a sip of water there. Okay, so another thing that is pretty cool has to do with filtering. If we were good to go to, let's just pick a report here. And where do I want to go? Let's pick the trial balance report here. And when setting filters for date filters, you can actually use some filters that are standard filters such as T for today, that kind of a thing. But let's say I wanted to get a report with everything from today to, or let's see, let's go, well, we wouldn't have data in here from today from 1 week from today, but you'll notice if I put in T.1W, it actually filters or sets the filter for today plus 7 days. Let me try this because I didn't try this yesterday, but I'm going to try it now. And that does work. So I did -1W.T for today, and it gave 1 week ago through today. So you can actually use some filtering options that weren't available before. At least I don't think you could use the -1W before. I never tried it until I was in here, but you can use, you know, -1 month today. And there are other filtering options that are available. We didn't get a chance to test out all of them, but there are some where you can set up some standard date filters that you can use within reports. And I'm not sure exactly where those are set up yet, but I'm sure, you know, by the time you go to NAV 2013, should have that information available for whoever's doing your implementation, and they can show you where to set up those standard date filters that you might want to use. But you do have more flexibility in the date filter window, and you can use that not just in reports, but any place where you might set a date filter. So if you're filtering a list of entries or something like that, the same would apply. Another thing that you can do that, let's go back over here to our, we'll just use our agency list again, is that you can use find. And you can use find to go to the first entry that meets your criteria. So you'll notice that there is an icon on my action ribbon up here, or my ribbon, and the find button, if I click on it, will allow me to say, okay, I want to find the first row where the permit web orders equals yes. And if I'm looking at my screen right now, the first 4 lines, permit web orders equals no, and it's not until the 5th where I get, a yes. So I say find next, and it finds the first agency that meets that criteria. And if I hit find next again, it takes me to the next one, and so on and so forth. And it will start from wherever you are in the list. So if you started way down, say here, then it will move to the first one that it finds that meets that criteria. I'll close and I'll go back to the top. Good old Control Home. And then let's say I want to find the first row where the, let's do location code is CA. And then I hit Find Next, and it finds the first one where location code is CA, and then the next one, and so on and so forth. So it allows you to move through the list, finding the information based on the settings that you put here in the Find Row Where, and matches what. So it's not the same as a filter. It's not going to filter your list, but it's going to let you do that find and then find next throughout the form. You also have find previous, which I just closed the little form, but that's also there. So if you want to go back to the previous one, you can use find previous and it will take you there. Another thing that is available in NAV 2013 is something called Quick Entry. And what that does is it allows you to skip over certain fields on a form to get to the field that you want, and you do this by hitting enter. And you have to define the fields on the form that you want to make as or mark as quick entry fields. And when you're looking at a form, say, let's say an order header, agency order here, we'll go ahead and go into an agency order. And let's bring one up. And you might wonder what the quick fields are. So if you go to, or the quick entry field, so if you go to customize and go to customize this page and go to fast tabs and then go to, let's say we want to set the quick entry fields for the general fast tab. We click on customize fast tab and you'll notice that there's this value here called quick entry. And when you click on a field within the columns, you can see which ones are marked as quick entry. And then you'll notice this one is not marked as quick entry. This one is not. What quick entry does is it allows you to hit enter and skip those fields that are not quick entry fields. And if you hit tab, it will go through every single field. It will ignore the quick entry. But if you hit enter, it will bypass those that you, take the quick entry value off. So if I don't want to enter zip code because that should populate from the agency, then I can take that off and I'll click OK here. Now it'll reopen my form. When I hit tab, it's going to go through every single field just like that. However, if I go back to the top and I hit enter, it will skip the fields. So you notice it just skipped cell 2 agency name. And then it skipped all the way from cell 2 agency name down to the cell 2 contact phone because I hadn't yet unchecked that as a quick entry field. So if there are fields on the form that you don't need to enter because they populate from, defaults from the agency in this case, or maybe on the lines you want to go directly from one field to another with skipping over a field that's populated, you can set the quick entry fields. So if we go to back to the customize, and we'll go back to the fast tabs, and this time we'll choose the lines and customize fast tab. Here we can say, okay, type and number obviously we need to fill in. The description is not a quick entry because it should come from the number selected. Location code, if we need to populate the location code, then we would mark that as quick entry. If location code will default for us, then we can skip quick entry if we want, and we'll just go over the location. Quantity, obviously, we need to be able to enter that. Unit of measure, it will bypass because that's going to come from the item. Unit gross weight, we should also get from the item. And then these other fields that we need to populate, now maybe we want to resort these, and some of these we don't want to display. But you get the idea that if you want to add settings for which things you can just move quickly through, then you can mark them as quick entry fields. Another nice thing in this form is you can add a freeze pane. So if you always want to see certain information before the freeze pane, regardless of how far over to the right you go, you can add the freeze pane, and then you will always see the information on the left of the freeze pane, regardless of scrolling over to the right, just like in NAV 2009. Although I don't think you could do that in this form previously. So we set type and item number as quick action or quick entry. So we have to enter those values without the system bypassing them. And let's go ahead and grab an item there. And then I set, obviously I need to change my shipment date up on the header because I used an old one. But when I hit tab, it's going to go through each field. But if I hit enter, it bypasses the description because I didn't check that field as a quick entry field. So you have some flexibility there for setting up quick entry fields in your forms, and you can, play with it. And then if you decide you don't like what you've done and you want to reset it, you can always go back to customize and set it back to the defaults. So I'll stop for a moment and ask if there's anything that anyone wants me to go over that I've covered so far to re-show how to do. Oh, I thought of something else that's really cool, but I'll let you answer first. But don't be shy. You can unmute yourself if you have a question. Okay. So back to the little OneNote that I created earlier. You can do a lot of stuff once you're in OneNote. So you can take a list that you've copied from the system, and you can, make it pretty. You can highlight things. You can add pictures. So you can go up here and you can choose stuff from the insert options. You can draw. So you can choose these things. You can use a lasso select, so you can draw circles or whatever you want based on what you've selected over here. So much like, if you have Snagit, or if you have, I think you guys sometimes use, what's that other one? Snipping tool. You can, have all that stuff right there. And you'll notice I marked this as a screen clipping. I actually made this yesterday. And basically I just took one of the lists that I had saved to page, and then I started playing with it using the options here. And you have a history, so you can see what some of the recent edits were. You can review it, make sure that you don't, like if you added text or whatever. You can add notes and link notes and all that great kind of stuff. So once you're in the OneNote option, so basically it works like, screen, well, actually I can take a screen clip and bring this over here, or once you're got something copied over here, you can play with it. So let's go back over here and go to, let's see, and I've forgotten since yesterday what I did here to make the screen clip, but I will have a memory reset here in a moment to remember how I made the screen clip. William, have you played with that? I'm forgetting what I did to make the screen clip.
Of the actual list itself?
Yes.
I have not, because we talked about the...
Yeah, we did all the send page stuff,
yeah.
but I also managed to take a screen clip of the page, and now I'm trying to remember what I did to do that.
Don't know if in one is the destination of that OneNote. So I don't know if in OneNote is there a
right, there might be an option.
There an option to clip it.
Okay, well, I hate it when between last night and today I've forgotten what I've done. But there is a tool, and I can't remember if it was from OneNote, which I think it may have been, where you can take and just copy or make a screenshot and then drop it in OneNote, and then you can make the changes. I'll try to recall what I did, and then I can send that out in an email. But obviously, until you're, it probably won't make that much of a difference. But there is a way to do that, and I apologize that I can't remember what I did to create that screen clipping yesterday. You know what? It might be down here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yep. So when you click on the OneNote with the little dealio here, the little scissors, Then you can grab what area you want to copy. So obviously if you want to copy everything up here, you can highlight it. Or if you just want to copy where it says agency orders. And then it makes a screenshot, and you can tell it where you want to put it. So if I want to put it on the new section 1, current section or current page, wherever you want to put it, then or you can just copy it to the clipboard and then paste it once you get over to OneNote. So I'm going to copy to the clipboard, go back over here, and then I'm going to paste it. And now it's copied my screen clipping into this OneNote, and then I can use the insert or draw or whatever I want to, and I can highlight things. So that wasn't a very pretty lasso. I haven't played with the lasso, but I'm sure there's cool things that you can do with that. So we'll just go back over here, and let's say I want to highlight it. So I can highlight it, and I can do all that kind of stuff, and then I can share this OneNote page with whomever I want to share it with. So again, I did that by going to the Send to OneNote option and then choose the screen clipping. And then on the page so before I do that again, I'm going to amend this. So on the page that I want to clip, you'll notice the page goes gray. Gray, that's a new word, gray. And I get this little message that tells me select the area that I want to clip. So maybe I only want to clip this top part here. And then I can either copy it to clipboard or send it to the one of the pages that I already have. And it says I sent it over here, so now I've really mucked that one up because I threw it on a page that already had something. But like I said, you can either copy it just to your clipboard and then paste it where you want, or if you know specifically what tab you want it to go to of a OneNote that you've created, then you can toss it there. Okay. Any other questions, or any questions, since there haven't been any yet, with the features that we've shown so far? Okay, if no questions, is anybody excited about any of them? You must unmute yourself to show your excitement. You can clap and cheer. Okay, I'll let you slide. All right. So as I mentioned, Microsoft Dynamics NAV 2013 supports the integration with, oh, did somebody just decide to get excited? Okay, maybe not. Maybe you just want to type. Somebody's typing. Okay. I don't know who it is, so I can't mute them. So it supports the integration with Microsoft OneNote, and it enables you to gather and organize text, pictures, such as screenshots. You could add audio and video to the OneNote. You can get pictures from outside sources, and you can add it to OneNote, and then you can share all this stuff with other people in your organization. Another thing that's really cool is that you can create help information that you can share. So you can create documents by copying screenshots, by setting, text in there. Here's how to do a certain process, and then you can save that to OneNote. You can share it, and it just really makes a great tool for setting either document processes, different kinds of things that you might need to share, even help. Oh, Chuck has a question. If you needed a list of all checks written from 7/1 through 8/31, would you use this or just use the standard data selection prompts? Are you talking about in a list of all of are you talking about running a report to get all the checks written from that time frame? I'm not sure specifically what the question is.
I need it for the auditors for our annual audit. Can you hear me, Connie? Am I coming through?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. And so I think I just need like date, check number, payee, and amount. I don't think it's relevant whether it's cleared or not.
Are you?
And so I could probably, can I just go into the various bank accounts, bring them up, select a date range, and then maybe do document number? Or is this what you just showed us, maybe a copy paste like you just showed us?
Well, I mean, what I'm showing is just what the NAV 2013 screens look like, so it's not really any different as far as how you would get the data that you're asking for. That's not. I mean, it's kind of a question separate from how NAV 2013 looks. But I mean, we could talk offline about how to get the data that you're asking for, because I don't think it's particular to showing, because you're not in NAV 2013 yet, are you?
No, we are not. No.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think it's pertinent to the display of how the NAV 2013 screen looks. But if you want to just shoot me an email, and I can, or you don't even have to because I have your information. I can get back with you and help you get a list of all the checks that you need within that time frame.
Okay, that sounds good. You think we can get to it today, or is that
Yeah.
a little?
Yeah, once this is over, probably early, well, I'm not sure what time frame you're on, but my early afternoon, I should be able to get back with you on that, you bet.
Okay, you're in Chicago?
I'm in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, you're on the other side of the world. Yeah, Oregon to Florida is about as
That is, it's 3 hours.
Okay, thanks, Connie. I just wanted to, somehow, cross-link this training into production.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is going to be a difference of just the visual look, but I'll get back with you on how to get the information that you're looking for. You
Okay,
bet.
sounds good. Thanks. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
You bet. Thanks. William, do you have anything that you want to add as far as some of the other things that you've seen in 2013 that you think people would be looking forward to see?
I didn't know if you were planning to do the, saving a view as type of thing.
I did not play with the save view as, but isn't is it just slightly different as far as, because I know can't you do a save view as in NAV 2009?
Yes, you can. Yep. Yeah. Same basic functionality, but it does save the one difference is if you have reorganized your columns. When you do a save view as, it saves the organized columns, whereas in 2009 it defaulted back to the base columns of that particular view. So if you've moved some columns around.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So just a same basic process, but just a slight enhancement in functionality.
So basically what he's saying is that if you change the columns around, or if you remove columns and then you save the information and as a save as view, then it will retain that information, whereas before it would reset to the default column. So that's good. Anything else?
That's all I can think of.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, does anybody have any questions on what we've shown you so far? I'm guessing no, since you haven't spoken up, but here's your chance. Okay. So basically that's just an overview of the NAV 2013 visual personalization, which I can't say, and productivity changes. And I'm sure those of you who are getting ready to move to 2013 are probably looking forward to some of those. And again, I will reach out to Chuck separately and get you going with the report that you need to get. So everybody have a great rest of the day, and if you need to review any of these things, Kim Marie will have the recording available probably either within the next day or so. And you can always go back and revisit some of the things that we've covered today. Thanks for joining, and have a great rest of the week.
Thanks, Connie.
You bet.